Well, hello there, Just Will here again, and just to give you a quick recap again, as usual, what happened in the last stream. And last stream, should we say, everything happened this time. So I'd say about an hour and a half into the stream, we had a blue screen of death. So basically, my computer just hard locked. It then corrupted the save. Now, on screen, you'll see that what I captured during the live stream. Basically, the XML files were all nulled. The bin file, which is the world bin file, that was nulled as well. So I had to go through the process of recovering the save, recreating the XML files. Now, during this stage, there were some weird issues where it kept putting us on the moon. And it's something to do with, I'm not quite 100% sure what, but something to do with basically it's not detecting XML correctly. The root element also had this root element issue, which you can see on screen again. Basically, it kept saying that it couldn't find part of an XML file. So I had to recreate the save completely in a new folder. And then during the start of those recordings, I didn't realise, because I had this explosion thing as you can see coming off now, I didn't realise this is most likely because I was on the moon at this point when it was happening. So I was sitting there going, well, why is this happening? Thinking there's something wrong with Stirling Engine. No, it's because the world was on the moon, and because the Stirling Engine is not designed to be run on the moon, it had a runaway reaction and it explodes each time. So anyway, now with all that out of the way, we can now get on with actually being in the correct world. Also, last but not least, we also were joined by Cork, who's a member of my Discord. He's been around for yonks. So yeah, he joined in live stream, and shenanigans continue. Flash, I don't think it's going to do anything, is it? Nope. Oh, I'm about to die again. Well, this was a quick run. Yeah. So I spent a good amount of time just updating some of the programming, or should we say automations in this world. So the first thing I wanted to do was automate the combustion centrifuge a little bit, making the throttle a bit more smarter. Basically, I did a lot of, should we say, faffing around and record a lot of bits, and it's all just such a jumbled up mess that I'm going to, should we say, explain it from the start to finish in one segment. So I put together a basic bit of code, and it is simply checking out the RPM, stress, and throttle from the device itself, and it's going into different modes. So if it is currently running, so that is where the RPM is up, it'll then go through the stages of basically if the stress is 0, it can well, I think it's, no, greater than 0, sorry. If it's greater than 0, go back round, and it will keep doing this until the stress hits 0. Once it hits 0, it will then go to this line, which is if the throttle is already at 100%, just keep looping, no point changing. If not, add 10, and then add that to the throttle, sleep 5 seconds, jump back to the beginning. I have a startup here, so if the throttle's already been set up, so say it is at 0 stress, but the throttle on is actually been set up, so there's actually a setting, it will jump straight to startup, and it will then initiate the startup protocol, which is setting it back to throttle 0, wait for that to calm down, and then start up again. Because basically, if there's a power cut, I was finding that this thing was then stopping, starting, and doing weird things, stressing itself out and breaking down. So, throttle is currently set to 10, so as I turn this on, it will now set itself back down to 0 and then reset. And now it's going to initiate startup procedures. Stress will go up to about 46-47% is what I've seen during testing. Now, the power has now cut off. So when it does kick in, what it will do is restart and bring back down the throttle. Because I'm still having power issues in this world, it's been a long run nightmare, to be honest. So at the moment RPM's down, it's just going to sort itself out. So this is all on the same device. It's a fairly basic bit of code. This hasn't been, or should we say the combustion limiter is not being used at this point. That might be something we'll look into later on, extending that, but at the moment I'm using it as kind of a manual turbo. I don't think it's necessary, to be honest, with one miner. This is keeping up fine on its own, just with this throttle on its own. So that's a good start. Right, on to my next job, automating the weather station. So let's have a look, see what data we can get out of the weather station, because it's been a little while, and all I've done with it before is just simply read in the numbers. Nothing too complicated, so the countdown time that you get built in. So I should have on here, yep, I do have my configuration chip. So what do we get? Next weather event time, which is 0. So that changes based on that. That's all we get actually. So we're not getting a huge amount out of this. So I would guesstimate I'm going to have to just work with the next weather event time. That's probably all I'm going to need. I know that, well, I said no. I think it's the mode that changes. Again, it's the change of these mode states. It's always a bit confusing. There we go. So 0 is no storm, 1 is incoming storm, and then inner storm mode 2. Not very complicated, not a lot going on with them. So yeah, so we're just going to have to, I think realistically, read the next event time, so I have a countdown, and then read the mode. But yeah, I don't know what other jobs I could, or other things I could do with it really, other than having a klaxon go off, which I don't know if we really want a klaxon going off more than once. So let's see, we've got lots and lots of sounds, things like that. We can have storm incoming. To be honest, that's all I would want. I don't know if it'll constantly play, so we'll probably just make one of those and just set that code and just see what happens. Other than that, I don't see anything else I'm too worried about. This one might be useful. Maybe later on. I don't know how you'd even use that actually, if there is a way to detect fire. I guess it's just temperature. But yeah, other than that, I think that's what I'll have, just storm incoming. I think that'll do, won't it? Nothing too complicated. Just so I have an early warning system. So let me get some IC script. Actually, no, tell that. I'm not going to do IC script, I don't think. No, I will. I keep changing my mind what I'm doing because it depends on how I'm going to do it. But I think if I want a countdown screen, I think a MIPS script would be better than having anything else going on. So let me get that typed up, or a basic framework for this one done, and I'll catch you all afterwards. Well, I was then just sorting out the coding for the weather station stuff, doing some cool stuff, and I realised there was a power issue. So I just went into here, and you can see in the bottom right corner, 65 degrees in the greenhouse. I don't know what's going on here, but it is absolutely cooking in here, and the tomato plants have sadly died. So, it says it's thriving to... Wait, what? It says it needs water. Oh, I can't drink, can I? Because I've got the helmet closed. It should have water? Yeah. But anyway, this is basically, I don't know what's quite going on here, because it says it's thriving to thing, but it's, yeah, I don't think they're thriving. I'm just going to put it out there. They look a little bit crispy. A little bit crispy, to say the least. So, yeah, I'm going to have to try to think of a way to sort this out. I think we're going to have to make the cooling system now. That was my plan, eventually start cooling these things down, but I didn't realise we already cooked ourselves that quickly. And that battery wasn't even turned on. Well, that's bad, isn't it? I don't know. It's just one thing after another now. So now we've got a proper disaster to deal with. Luckily, I do have some backup seeds I've been keeping, so I can now finally get these going again. So, how do I... Oh, hold C to clear. Okay. There we go. I was clicking on them trying to get them, but they don't do anything, so you have to hold C to clear them out. I guess it's a good safety mechanism. It saves you accidentally clearing out your plants. Oh dear, okay. So I guess it's time to do some base cooling. I'll crack on with that, and hopefully this one will combust into flames. Well, in the time of getting a few bits together, the room temperature is already up to 76 degrees, and I'm not confident, not comfortable, should we say, with that temperature. So I'm going to just pop the glass out one end, probably this end here, as long as there's nothing. I mean, there's bits there to chuck down, but it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I'm just going to pop it and let this heat out a bit. Gonna get it back in place. There we go. There we go, that's better. That's much better. Still quite toasty, but it's nowhere near as bad as it once was. Yeah, that's much more manageable. Yeah, I presume these are kicking out a lot more heat. It didn't seem that bad before. Suddenly, just the chain reaction has gone absolutely mad. The only other thing I can think of is maybe the water's getting hot. Oh, it is hot. Why? That's ridiculously hot. I mean, I would use it as kind of a thermal regulator, but still, this is crazy town. Okay, oh, I don't know. I presume it's just because I've got this, like, here where these pipes are radiating enough heat out, but I didn't think that they were transferring that much heat. Whew, that is kind of speechless, actually, how hot this room has gotten. We were very close to having a complete meltdown in this room. Okay, somehow I jankily saved myself again. I'm getting good at these janky saves at this point. Let's see, so I think I want to put this... Actually, no, I don't want to put that there. I want to put... where is that gone? This. I want to put a digital valve in. So I'm going to make a very sort of low-powered passive cooling system. So I'm going to have just a simple valve. Probably... Ooh, I don't know if I want to put there or not there. I think I'll probably just put it here. And then... simple bit of pipe like this. Put a passive vent there. And then pipe like this, probably just along like this, I think. And then if I grab my radiators, which I've got on me, and then just do something like this. I think that'll be enough. And then I'll just use a bit of logic with the MIPS coding. Grab the sensor, which is this thing here. So if I set you to gas sensor, probably just put it like, I don't know, can't go there, can't go there. If I put it there, yeah, probably right. Put a cable down. I just need to grab some power, which there is some base power going through here. I could just tap straight off this. It's dangerous, but at the same time it's not going to hurt too much. No, I'll do it properly. I'll take it off this power supply here. Yeah, that's a fairly easy run. Straight up there, power them up, go from there. Right, let's get some basic programming done. Starting to feel like another problem, another script. That's what this game's kind of turned into. So, simple one again, valve sensor. I've just set up the aliases at the top here. We're just going to simply turn the valves on and off, so I'm reading in the, or loading in the state of the valve. Actually, I don't need that, the one, do I? No, again, so I've got redundant lines from when I was just copying old bits around. So basically reading the sensor, and then if it's above a temperature, go down here, turn on the valve. If not, continue on, turn it off, jump start. Simple. Let's see, so if I grab that, pop it back in there, export that out. There we go, so that's back on there. So at the moment we're down to 55 degrees, and it's dropping nicely. So this should do the job. Now I'm tempted to run a bit of pipe maybe round to the other side, so probably another section down here, and then have it cool the interior of the base and have this kind of equalize out, because I want the whole base to be, or the whole station to be about 20 degrees. And if I remember rightly, let's see what's behind here. Yep, there's nothing here. There's a lot of annoyingly stuff behind here. I kind of ballsed up my electrics because I was going to wire in here, but there's all this here, and I really can't be bothered to start messing around with this. So it's tied, this cooling system is tied into the production room's power. That'll be fine, to be honest. The production room is probably going to be kept on long enough, or the power shouldn't be too problematic over there. So, and there's enough capacity on that circuit. So that's going to hopefully just keep cooling. We're down to 50 degrees already, so this is working quite nicely. I mean, it's a bit of a shame really that I didn't catch it earlier. It must have started happening when we were streaming, and to be honest, there was so much going on with the hard crash and nearly losing the save that we can't say, well, should we say I wasn't really thinking too straight. So, dear. I even remember picking this up and grinding that off, and it's still here, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff got lost in this cable. I swear I did this as well. So there's a lot of stuff that I remember doing jobs. It's either that or I'm in a parallel universe. It's 50-50 at this point. You know when you go around and you think, oh, I'll just pinch that one random thing, I'll put it back later, and then you forget. So I was sitting there in the greenhouse trying to work out why is the CO2 pressure dropping in there, because it's down to 40 something kilopascals, and I set the valve to 50. Come out here and yeah, I remember taking this. I don't remember what I did with it. Oh, I know, remember now. It was to do with the Stirling engine. Here it is. That's what I wanted. No, it's a volume pump. Oh, where the heck did I do with it? Huh, it's not here at all. I wonder, actually, now I think about it, I think it's inside. Though I still want some more power as well. That's the other thing I'm just now starting to run into more. Because I've noticed the batteries are not really charging up too well. And I don't think I really want to keep spamming up wind turbines, so I'm finally going to admit defeat and embrace more solar panels. Yay! You can tell by my enthusiasm. So I think I'm going to put them all on roof here. Now I am not going to make it easy for myself. I'm going to go down the route of the heavy ones. Because I want a bit of a challenge really on this, and it's with these constructions, because I don't want to just cheat again with the box one. The box one is so easy to do, we've done it so many times, so I'm going to go for the proper heavy duties. Now I need a trolley, now you say that, but anyway. So the only problem is it needs steel. Now, my current furnace setup, it outputs the ingots straight away, so I can't grab steel. Now in the live stream I did on Saturday, I did grab the steel out of this by just simply disconnecting this chute and just plonk it on the floor and then run it through. But I don't want to do that, so I want to make a more semi-permanent steel production area by using the old furnace, because this will be fine. I don't want to make another fancy one. Something like this would do the trick. Now I'm thinking of just having it here somewhere. Problem is I've got the recycler here, but the recycler could always be moved, I don't know, maybe further that way. Maybe these chutes could be moved over slightly and have the recycler possibly outside. And the wall section is going to be, I think it's going to end up being here. I think that's what I've decided. This would be the wall going round, so I might have all the silos inside. I keep saying I'm going to wall it off, but to be honest, no, me, I'll probably never get done. So I think I'll move this back possibly all the way to here. Yeah, have the recycler here. That allows me to walk through this gap here, because I can always move that line of chutes over one. And then I can easily fit this here. The idea being that I can just put a little bit of... Now I've done that, I just realised that's too far back, isn't it? So something like this, I think. So it's just protruding out of what will be a steel box. So I'm going to seal this all in again. It'll give me the same sort of characteristics as this one is doing, which is fine. I lose a bit of heat, but not enough to be a problem. I've got the fuel lines already here, so I can just have the input feeding in from this pipeline, and then have the other one, or the output straight into the, which I think is, yeah, that's the input line there. So again, I could probably just run them up into these pipelines here. So I think that would work anyway, and then this would just literally be used for steel. Then I can chuck it straight in here to make the more complicated things that require an alloy to start off. All I've done is just manual valves, nothing too complicated, just to make it a bit easier for myself. I'll just burp some of this fuel out because there's a little bit of extra in the line that I need it to be, as long as it doesn't combust into flames. This is just happily puttering away. I don't think there's a lot of heat left in the system. So let's see. Now I think I need to turn on the old power again because I left it all unplugged. And we'll see if we can get this steel going. I don't know if this will work. I don't know if this will blow up in the face. Yeah, there's a lot in there. There's half a megapascal of fuel in there, so it might be a bit spicy. But you know, let's see what happens. Right, here we go. Let's click the button. Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad at all, is it? It's all within reasonable numbers. A few extra megapascals, that'd be good. I mean, it's going to help start an engine go nice and quick, so it's not exactly exploding. Really hot though. Probably more than we need, but hey ho. There we go, steel. And there we go. 200 grams of steel, done. And now I'll just open up this vent and let the system just take it all away. It should just go into this. Ooh. That got really angry, didn't it? I got scared then. I got scared. Did I do something bad? No. It's hot pipes, so I mean okay, It's running really, really quick. Oh, and that pressure's getting really high. Yeah, that scares me when it does that. Oh yeah, that's a bit spicy, isn't it? That's there we go. Just gonna burp that off. I don't know if I ended up having an issue I had before where I've ended up introducing a fuel mix into it. That's 2.4. I mean, I should really be doing this properly, but you know what I'm like. Lazy. That'll do. 1.5 megapascals. I feel a bit safe with that. If that combusts and does something weird, we're not going to die instantly. He says. Okay, that goes in there. That goes in there. 3, 4, 5. 5 megapascals. I'll take that. That is as high as it's going to go. It is making an absolute racket. That makes sense because we've got such a differentiation between the hot and cold that it is running insanely efficiently at the moment. Cool. Look at the fan go. Oh dear, that's scary that was. But at least I know if I need to get that Stirling engine going, I'll just heat this thing up and go. That's insane though. Yeah, pressure's coming down. Phew. That's not too bad. That was quite scary, to say the least. I was just working on the solar panels, just putting them in, getting them all set up. I'm going to use a script I found off the Wikipedia, which I'll go over a bit later. Now, I did actually work on the weather station script, so that is now just kicked into life. I'm not sure actually, now I think about it, did I actually go over this? So I've got a simple system now with a countdown. It is showing too many decimal places, so I do need to round that down. There is also a siren that should go off, but I didn't hear it, so I'm not sure if I missed it. But I've put a load of beacons around the exterior. These are running off the main, what's this called? The battery output, basically, from the station batteries. So it's kind of going to be a cable that's going to run around most of the base. And I'm going to put these beacons everywhere I can. So if I'm out and about, I'll get a very clear indication of something about to happen. So I've got about 10 minutes left until the storm blows through. I just realised I nearly completely forgot to actually go through the coding of the weather station system. So I'll bring it up on screen now. So it's literally going to look for the weather station, screen, and speaker. The actual beacons, I'm using the hash, so they'll just go through and look for this particular hash, hardcode hash, on the network. As long as it doesn't change in game, which they normally don't, that should be fine. I did see on the some other code I was playing with where you can actually read the hash off, so but anyway, I'll just hardcode that for the time being. The screen is simply just counting down how long it is until the weather hits, and the speaker should go off. Now, I have heard the speaker, it is woeful. So I'm probably going to add more speakers into the network and put them around, so possibly using the hash system again, so it just reads off all the hashes and just sets them all going, basically. So fairly easy to do using the batch system. But at the moment, it's kind of there at the moment, and it is simply just reading off the state warnings, and if it's on set in 2, it'll go in storm mode, which basically just turns off the speakers and sets the screen to red. So then it kind of a bit more of an indicator. It goes to grey, which means there's nothing going on, kind of like an idle thing. So fairly simple bit of code. Again, something we'll play with as time goes on to expand its functionality. I'm not going to do anything crazy like locking airlocks, because not being funny, that's when accidents happen, and all it'll take is me accidentally being out and about and being absolutely plunged into darkness. Now, it would be a good idea to get another battery in if we can, because we are still kind of dying on these battery issues. Let me see, can we get the large battery yet? No, I need it still light stuff, which I can't really risk start messing around with, unfortunately. What I'm going to do, I'm going to build a few more of these batteries. I'm going to just try and get as many as I can. I might remove one of the grow areas and just basically use that area, because we've got enough space there, I think. So let's get another, yeah, let's do another 3 of these batteries. I think that'll be enough. and then I'll get these all fitted in and we'll go from there. Well, I think this flashing red light says it all. I just accidentally blew the network because I didn't realise this cable going around here is the output of the batteries, and I got it into input, and yeah, there was a pop. I'm not sure where, I'm not sure how. Time's sort of ticking. Yeah, things are going bad. I need to really redo this cable, and it is complete and utter mess. I'm not sure where exactly or what I've broken, to be honest. It's one of those silly things that wasn't really thinking straight, and now I've just blown the network. So let's see, we go like that, and then I'm going to take it along the front here. There we are, they're all in, prepared. Hopefully I'm not missing any important connections just to capture the power off. I'll have to then work out. I'm hoping it's just this bit has been broken. Actually, I could just check that while we're waiting for the storm to start. Let's have a look to see what's behind here. Oh, the battery's dead. All my batteries are dead. They're always dead. No, the fault wasn't there. So somewhere along my walls I have got a blown circuit, and I've got to now sit here and pull out walls to try and work out where the fault is. Because I have no idea where it could be at this point. It sounded like it came from this direction, but the problem is the sound reverberates around and you just don't know where it's coming from. But yeah, this is slightly stressful now because I've got a break somewhere in the network. I know I've already blown it once before because when I switched on the oil processing area, somehow oh, Cork just died. Oh no. Let's see if we can get him in there now. He's deceased. Can I resurrect him? Let's see, can I get him in there? He's been standing here for like hours and nothing's happened to him, and then suddenly he's just keeled over and died. Yeah, he won't mind me jiggling around like that. He's in. Close the door. Turn it on. See if that brings him back to life. Temperature too high. N2O pressure too low. Oh. So to bring him back to life, I need to bring nitrous oxides in. Let me just see, is that a thing? Will revive dead players when provided with an atmosphere of NOS low. Ooh. That should be doable. That should be doable because we're on Europa. That should be fairly easy to cool it off. Ooh, okay. Well, tell you what I'm going to do. That I'm going to sort out the mess that I've kind of created. Get this plastic back in there, and then I think we'll make that next little mission. Revive Corked. Yeah. So, turns out you have to kind of do that quite quickly to revive someone. You can't sort of, you know, finish off wiring up some batteries. So, yeah. Poor Corked. Oh well. It was nice knowing him. I'll add him to the collection of skulls, with the missus' skull. Oh dear. Well, I think it's only fair to make a little plinth for him, just to sit there and judge us for our mistakes. I shouldn't have clicked on it during the end of the live stream. Well, after some fiddling around and some trial and error, I used a script I found on the wiki which still works fine. It's a multi-axis IC controller. I'm not sure who programmed it. There's no, I don't think there was any citation, or not citation, but basically who wrote it up, or the author. So basically this script, you basically put the sensor on the same flat surface. I kept putting it on this sort of edge because that's what they used to be back in the day. That's just an old habit. So this is now seemingly tracking quite nicely. So they're now going to track the sun, because on Europa it kind of does this weird arch movement. So you can't just simply go wee over like that. You have to kind of, at an angle, do sort of tracking like that, which is tricky to do with a simple couple of chips. You can do it, but again, you start getting really complicated with loads and loads of bits and bobs. So it's fairly simple. You simply just put in the angles of the sensor data angle, so that's kind of 90 degrees, and then it says on here the power angle. When I'm using the dual ports, so that would actually be the oh no, tell that it's the power port. So yeah, for some reason I thought data. So yeah, I get so muddled up with this thing. So basically, yeah, it's the power port on the dual output ones. So I'm not sure what I'd be on the single ones. I presume it'd probably be the same port. So, but there we go. So now we have those up and running. And I think then that'll do for this episode, because we've got the centrifuge being smart, we have an early warning weather system in place. The alarm did kind of go, so I did hear the alarm kind of, but it was a bit weird. I still need to work out where the power cable fault is. This one was caused when I switched this on, so I'm not sure what happened there. But other than that, I don't know where else where the other break is. There is still a fault somewhere, so somewhere something is not getting a charge. So let's turn this on. It should... Yeah, it didn't blow at the time. So, and this is getting power, so this run is fine. The only other one that's left would be the cable that runs through the base. Manufacturing's online. And... no, wait, there's no battery in here, so this is all good. So I'm not quite sure what happened. Everything is working. So I'm not sure where actually that break was. So I guess I'm going to just randomly find it as time goes on. Because this whole system is now online. The drill is now working. And the centrifuge will work if I turn it on, but I don't want to turn it on just yet. So yeah, I'm a bit puzzled as to why, why that's actually seemingly is fine. So there's some excess cable here because I was playing around with putting solar panels here, but I changed my mind again. But yeah, so I don't know where the actual fault is, where the break actually occurred. Somewhere there's a break, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out. So, on the bitter disappointment of cork passing and everything else going wrong, I'll leave it there, and I'll catch you all later in a new episode that should be coming out this week. So I'll catch you all then. Bye for now.